There's a bottomless pit of Cedar Point predictions, but not this. This is coaster theory. I like to try and take something released by the park and only by the park and piece it together to try and find a bigger picture. In this case, what Cedar Point might add next. Today, I have just one theorized prediction that I think may be possible. It fits with the park, complements the other coasters, and I think people would flip out just a little if something like this actually came to be. Just look at Cedar Point. It's become such a big deal over the past several decades. Some say you're not a true enthusiast unless you've made a visit. As someone who made the first visit just a few months ago, I don't agree. But putting it into perspective, it's Cedar Point. Whatever they're gonna get, it's gonna be big. This is why Cedar Point will get a GCI Hybrid to redeem Son of Beast. Now, when Son of Beast opened, it was ridiculously big. Some might say too big. Its size is what ultimately led to its closure, but it deserves credit. Son of Beast was a hypercoaster, which is something crazy considering the structure holding up the tallest part was all wood. The closest we have present day is Steel Vengeance. It's about 13 feet shorter than Son of Beast and was built 18 years later. Son of Beast was pretty out there. It was very extra when it didn't need to be, and unfortunately, because Kings Island did a little too much too soon, it failed. But if there's something about Son of Beast, it's right up Cedar Point's alley. Why wouldn't CP get in on the action and possibly redeem the wooden hypercoaster? Some will say there's no need because they sort of already did that with Steel Vengeance, and that's a fair point. If this were any other park, and I mean any other park, I would consider a different option. But we're talking about Cedar Point. Very extra, just like Son of Beast. Blue Streak is the only true wooden coaster in their lineup, and if they choose to build a woodie that wasn't built in 1964, they're gonna give Steve a run for its money. That's reason one. Cedar Point would want a record-breaking wooden coaster possibly around the same height as Steel Vengeance, at least passing that hypercoaster mark. Now, a wooden hypercoaster is a very bold forecast. So, is Cedar Point daring enough to build something like this, and what are the odds of this even being possible? Since we haven't seen a true wooden hypercoaster since Son of Beast, it's unlikely we would see another one out of nowhere. But not anymore. Maybe Cedar Point learned from Son of Beast. Don't rush into it. Take some time and let technology move forward so these records can be possible. Imagine how much different Steel Vengeance would look if it were RMC's second coaster. Based on layouts, it would be a much larger New Texas giant. But instead they waited, and RMC improved their design. They adapted to make inversions and even developed a new style of train. Look how much people love it. Maybe we can see them execute the same formula but with GCI. Cedar Fair works very close with Great Coasters International, and some of you may be familiar with GCI's Infinity Flyer. They're bringing the wooden coaster to the hypercoaster level with brand new trains that can handle inversions, just like RMC did years ago. If GCI is up to the task, they can build the world's tallest wooden coaster with the most inversions on a woodie, and CP can claim their longest drop record like they always do. But there's one big catch. Wooden hypercoasters are impossible. After Son of Beast, I don't think any company, including manufacturers, will jump right in with a 200-foot wood structure. Steel Vengeance being an exception because it was pre-existing. But we know if RMC were to build it ground up, they would use their steel see-through structure as they previously did on Goliath. But Zach, you led me on this whole video making me believe Cedar Point would build the Grand Son of Beast. Don't forget what I said in the beginning. This is why Cedar Point will get a GCI Hybrid to redeem Son of Beast. GCI is very smart. They know wood structures better than anyone, and they of all people decided it would be best to use steel supports. If Cedar Point wants inversions, they're gonna need wooden track and steel track. Example, White Lightning. As someone who got to ride the new White Lightning with the steel track, it was everything I hoped it would be. It's hard to judge just off of a small bit, it's just 4 new pieces of track. We haven't seen any inversions or ejector hills yet, but it took a rough coaster that I had no desire to ride and made it so I kind of wanted to ride it again. If Cedar Point gets an Infinity Flyer and uses the steel track for inversions, it's not just original, it's necessary. This, of course, would make it a hybrid. But Zach, why would Cedar Point, the park that has the best hybrid, get another hybrid? It's not as much getting a hybrid as it is replacing a hybrid. Remember, this video is titled Where to Find Cedar Point's Next Coaster. If you're someone who knows Cedar Point trivia, you might know they have 3 hybrids: Steel Vengeance, Gemini, and Cedar Creek Mine Ride. Cedar Creek is not talked about as a hybrid at all. When generally talking about coasters, we call them by the model, woodies, or hybrids. For Mine Ride, we just call it a mine train. But when I say where you'll find it, I don't mean the land. I mean Frontier Town and the possible teaser from the Steel Vengeance announcement. So far, admittedly, this has been a prediction, but this is where the theory comes into play. Steel Vengeance is themed around Frontier Town with the likes of Maverick, Mine Ride, and its own characters. If you want a full, and I mean full breakdown of Steve's theme, click that card. I went super in depth and it all makes perfect sense. The best part is, it's 100% fact. Go check it out if you're interested. Anyways, Maverick is themed to a very wealthy man who owns Cedar Creek Mining Company. 3 friends of Maverick became 3 of his biggest rivals. And as we know from the Steel Vengeance announcement video,
Wyatt Digger Dempsey, a reclusive inventor, ready to reclaim his mining company.
Digger wants to reclaim his mining company. We also know Steel Vengeance is a mining machine of Digger's creation. He failed the first time when it was built from wood, but once he put wood and steel together, it was a smash hit. I guess we can all say Steel Vengeance got its vengeance, and Maverick had to give up his mining company. In turn, Digger reclaimed Cedar Creek Mining Company, aka Cedar Point removed Cedar Creek Mine Ride. It's old, unpopular, and sits on a good part of land. Since Digger made a hybrid mining machine with Steve, he does the same thing to redeem Cedar Creek Mining Company. He makes another hybrid. But maybe this time, he wants some vengeance. So where do we find Cedar Point's next coaster? In the Steel Vengeance announcement, nodding towards an old mine train hybrid reborn into a new fully ground up hybrid. Did Cedar Point do this on purpose? Probably not, but it's the only nod we have towards another expansion. Plus, with a hybrid being the best coaster in the park, why wouldn't they want another that offers something different? But above all, it would give us the closest thing they can to Son of Beast. But in the end, it's just a theory. So let me know what you think down below. In the meantime, you too can become a coaster theorist by clicking that subscribe button down below. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on any future theories. Before you go, if you haven't already checked out my podcast, the Talkin' Shummas podcast, new episodes drop every week. They feature some of your favorite coaster YouTubers such as El Toro Ryan, Airtime Thrills, Theme Park Crazy, and many more. You can find it on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any podcast streaming service, or you can click the link down below. In the meantime, I'm Zach from Theme Park Media signing off, and I will catch you in the next one.
Meanwhile...
Oh, who is this sexy man? Oh! Are you the real Hunter from Theme Park Hunting? Are you the real Hunter from Theme Park Hunting? Oh, is this how you treat your fans? I'm honestly not surprised. You are so ungrateful. Are you kidding me? No, and off he goes. Oh.